Taste the pennies, bitch.
Oh shit. All right, you ready? You ready? Shall we do this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Angry Porto here, aka Clancy. Take it slow. Too many goddamn nicknames. It's getting annoying. And with me today is my boy Tiki Taco.
I can confirm that I am not a taco.
Lies, lies, lies. I tell you, you're definitely a taco. I know you don't want to admit it, but you're a fucking taco. I'm gonna prove
Can I
it
at
too.
least be a quesarito?
So yeah, folks, today we're going to be talking about the Noclip documentary, the documentary Noclip did on Fallout 76. And they actually were able to embed themselves in the Bethesda studios while the game was being made, before it was even announced.
Also impressive that they didn't spoil anything.
Yeah, yeah,
Leak it.
absolutely. So yeah, I'll have the link to that documentary down below, but they covered a lot of things in there that, yeah, Tiki, you remember, I was initially pretty apprehensive about this whole thing, but watching that made me go like, okay, this isn't Fallout 5, this is Fallout 76. This is a spin-off. This is going to be
Right.
something different and something special. So I need to go
Yep.
into it with open eyes, without sort of the expectation that we all have from other single player Bethesda games like
Yep.
Skyrim, Fallout 4, and going further back, Oblivion. This is a brand new thing for them, and we have to treat it that way.
Exactly.
So one of the things they talk about a lot of things in there, but one of the things they talk about mainly is a lot more local folklore and then monsters that go with that. They tease the Mothman quite a bit. I guess he's probably going to be like, probably not. He probably won't be an important character story wise, but it sounds like he's going to be someone that's actually sort of hounding you throughout your playthrough that you'll eventually have to take care of. Which I like. I
Super
like
fun.
that.
And super fun. Get
Yeah,
hunted by something. Get stalked by something.
exactly. Yeah. So we got the Mothman. I think they got the Grafton monster, and
Yep.
these are all local folklore legends that they're turning into killable creatures in this game, which sounds really cool. And they even talked about intelligent plants, intelligent carnivorous plants, which I don't know how many of you here have played Fallout 2, but yeah, that's Fallout canon. There are intelligent man-eating Venus flytrap plants in Fallout 2, so they're not making shit up for this. They're actually drawing from past Fallout content, which I thought was really cool.
Well, they are kind of making it up.
Well,
They
yeah,
don't really have intelligent man-eating plants.
okay,
Sorry.
all right. They are making it up, like in terms
I'm
of,
just giving you shit.
yeah,
Continue.
no. In reality, we don't have that, right? But in terms of Fallout lore and canon, that shit already exists. That they're just bringing forward. There's also apparently going to be a crash space station, which I believe is from the Van Buren project, which was the canceled Fallout 3 from Black Isle. So they're definitely throwing some nods to past development houses that were in the Fallout universe, and
Yeah.
again, which I appreciated. And also, how cool will that be? There's gonna be a crash space station that you can explore and loot and what have you.
Exploit.
Exploit. Let's see what else.
That's where the first house has to be.
Hope so, right? Oh, okay. So remember how we talked about there would be no NPCs,
Yeah.
other than all the people you see are players, which I was again initially very apprehensive about, but apparently there is going to be a new hostile faction called the Scorched, who are feral ghouls who aren't completely feral yet. I don't know, Tyler, if you've played. You played New Vegas?
Yeah.
Did you play the Lonesome Road DLC?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah, in the Lonesome Road DLC, there's a bunch of radiated NCR and Legion soldiers that are all like almost feral, but they still use guns and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess that faction, it's gonna be very similar to that faction, which I liked a lot because as cool as it would have been just to be for most of the PvE content to be monsters and most of the PvP content, like most of the gunplay to be with players, I feel like that'd be a lot of wasted gunplay potential.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they have this faction in there of feral-ish ghouls that also shoot at us with guns and also get our gunplay itch going.
Yeah. Because it was gonna be. I mean, as cool as being able to fight monsters like all the time would be. I mean, what would be the point if the only like you couldn't make a physical attack build viable if you did it with against other players,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at least you can with the monsters and stuff, and then it's still probably a little bit more viable against the shooty guys. Scorched.
Do you mean you don't think like a strength melee weapons build will be viable against players?
I don't see how it could, unless unless maybe the mutations or the perks make you faster or something like that, where you can outrun people. Because if you have, if you, I mean, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight, right?
Yeah.
If you have if you've got a super sledge and you're, charging at someone like in New Vegas or Fallout 4, your movement speed was pretty much the same as everybody else's. So, when Legion soldiers would come at you with their lances and stuff, you just go, okay, I'm just gonna backpedal until you die and I fill you full of lead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wouldn't be viable unless they're going to like, put some system in the game to make it viable.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
strength characters can move faster, or if you do a melee attack in VATS, it makes you, rush to the person and it locks onto them or something like that.
yeah, I actually never thought about that. Yeah, that makes sense. That I wonder if yeah, I wonder how viable strength or like a melee build will be against characters. I guess you'd probably have to be fairly tactical about it, but because like imagine if you drop down in power armor into four other people with no power armor or the super sludge, like those people are fucked. But yeah, that's a very
Maybe.
rare scenario. I mean, I guess it depends. It obviously depends on what they're equipped with, but
Yeah, because this could be the situation of how many people would it take to bring down a grizzly bear. Like if there's enough of you and you just run away and then the grizzly bear can't smash you, you can just shoot it until it dies.
yeah. Yeah, that's sad because I actually played my first Fallout 4 playthrough was melee and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's playing against AI that sort of, and I mean we have to also just accept that you're a superhero, right? You can just kind of get
Yeah.
shot and you're okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, I also wonder too how bullet spongy people are going to be in this game. That's sort of always a problem in remember when we played the Division?
For
Like
you. Yeah.
I get that doesn't bother you?
No, not really. I enjoy the bullet sponginess
Ugh, I hate it.
from
I
it.
mean, obviously, it can't be Counter Strike, right? We can't have just one shot headshots. That's no fun.
Yeah, you'll just get sniped as you're trying to go, meander the wasteland.
Yeah,
All of a
exactly.
sudden your head pops off and you go, oh, by the way, you're gonna restart.
But I don't want, like I said, I don't want what happened in the Division where you're unloading like 5 clips into some dude's head and he's just slowly walking towards you. It's like, oh, okay, I kind of get to watch his life drain. I just have like life drain bullets.
I don't think it'll be that bad. Like, because the division was way more involved with the whole system
Yeah.
of being bullet spongy, where everybody was bullet spongy too.
um, so apparently too, the map is 4 times bigger than Fallout 4, and it's apparently an entire map of West Virginia. Now, obviously, it's
Right.
crunched together, but this is
It's
this
been
is West
worked,
Virginia,
or
which is
or
really cool.
most of the important things that would be noteworthy to visit in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, when you think about it, though, Fallout 4 was kind of I wouldn't say it's the
It's a
size
little
of
bit of the same
Mass.
thing.
Well, I don't know. I guess apparently, if you scale out things appropriately, Sanctuary is up in the Concord area, so we don't really go much more further north than that. And actually, you don't go too far south of Boston, so it's really just Greater Boston. But yeah, I like that we're actually going to be getting an entire state basically to fuck around in. An entire mountainous, wooded, slightly radiated, slightly not so radiated state. And that was another thing that I saw in the zones that in the new zones that there was a pretty good color palette. Like Fallout 3 was very
Yeah,
brown and green. Fallout New Vegas was very like brown and orange. Fallout 4 had some good colors to it, but this color palette actually looks pretty impressive.
I think they wanted to get a little bit more creative than just gray.
Yeah. Gray and brown. Let's see, what else did I write here? Oh, so ammo crafting and then crafting in general is apparently going to be very important since, there's no NPCs, there's no NPC shopkeepers. So
Yeah.
what they're sort of hoping for is for players to fulfill the role
Yeah.
of shopkeeper, which
Which I'm excited about that part because that sounds pretty interesting. Like you can make roles for people in your server
yeah,
and shit, and you can specialize in whatever you want to make,
yeah,
or you can be opportunistic and be like, oh yeah, this place has a lot of one particular thing I need to use to make medical supplies or whatever, so I can make a whole bunch of stim packs and cram.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you ever played Elite Dangerous?
I've heard about it.
Yeah, it's a space sim game where you pretty much you literally just kind of do whatever you want. Hey, do I want to be a trader? Do I want to be a pirate? Do I
Yeah.
want to be a miner? And it seems like this game is sort of like they keep mentioning how there are quests. There is a storyline, which is good because I want that. But they mention how they sort of want the player to do whatever the hell they want, which again, more choice to me is always better. So yeah, if say you, me, Max and Z are playing, we're like we go do some questing and shit, and then we all go to bed. And you're like, hey, I'm not that tired. I'm gonna hop back on. I'm just gonna fucking sell shit. Or hey, I'm a really high level. I'm gonna hop on this server and ask if anyone needs help, and I'll sell my services. I'll be a fucking mercenary. You know,
Yeah.
that's cool as fuck. That's that emergent gameplay. That emergent player created gameplay.
Yeah. I'm a little nervous about how it's gonna look at the end game because I mean obviously everybody I think is gonna be a little bit nervous about oh yeah is it gonna have longevity like once you complete the storyline and you know you've got good gear what's gonna be the point of playing
Mm-hmm.
because you always have that kind of fear of that scenario when your whole gameplay is kind of just here you go here's the world go play in it
Yeah.
because that's
Well,
that's kind of what it is.
apparently the end game, at least from what I've seen, is supposed to mainly be revolved around getting the nukes. And I can't remember if this is Todd Howard or Pete Hines saying this in this video or elsewhere, but I think they were saying that the nukes are not supposed to be a griefing mechanic. Like you're really not. It, obviously, you can nuke players, but apparently, what the nukes do is you nuke a zone or however it works. You nuke an area, and it actually raises the level and danger and loot capacity of everything in that area. So it basically makes that zone like an end game zone. So that's
Right.
they sort of want the struggle to acquire the access codes and then nuking a zone to be your end game. And yeah, they also I don't remember seeing anywhere about if there's going to be like what the level cap is. I saw the perk card system. I think we didn't they didn't really go too in depth on that from my memory. So I am curious like what's the level cap going to be? How are skills or perk cards or however their leveling system works? How are we going to be able to what's the word I'm looking for? So in Fallout 4, you can kind of like I think I'm a level 125 and I'm good at everything, right? So let's just
Yeah.
say level 50 is the max level, and then you get 50 perk cards. If we specialize in something, does that mean we suffer in something else, or can we be kind of a jack of all trades but master of none? You know, like I really just don't quite know how the leveling system's going to work. But
They have not really gone into too much detail on that. We saw what 3 cards per special
yeah,
talent.
yeah.
So I mean they're I'm sure that's stuff that they're tweaking right now to try to gauge what's appropriate and what's not.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about a healthy end game, right? I mean, and that
Yeah.
sort of goes right into it. So I imagine we'll get answers to that as time goes on, but
Yeah.
that is still a big question mark. All right, what do we get? What else we got here?
Something about that
Sure.
the trait leveling up system with the perk cards that I enjoyed like thinking about anyway. So it's not gonna be like I mean I love New Vegas, but the leveling up was just like okay, get a whole bunch of points and just throw them into some things that you can make better. And then they had arbitrary caps that were like useful for certain things like speech, right?
Hmm.
Like, if you didn't have a speech of 50, well, you just don't get to persuade this person. And then basically every point between 50 and 75 was useless until you hit 75.
Which is
So they're not
that's
doing that.
sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if it's going to like apply to your stats if you're going to level up too, because if it does, then if a high level person meets a lower level person, the lower level person's just gonna die if they get in a fight. But if they don't raise stats and it's the level up is only perks, that could be cool because you can always switch out all your perks. And so there's no gigantic advantage for being a level 50 as opposed to like being a level, one person that just walked out of the vault.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously you're gonna have better gear, but it's all right.
yeah. It's tough. It's tough having this first-person shooter with also leveling mechanics because inevitably level ones are going to be weaker than whatever the max level is, and there's nothing you can really do about that. And there's nothing you. I don't know if there's anything you should do about that, right? I mean, people who have been playing the game longer should be better.
Yeah.
But yeah, how much better? You know, how much does that affect people who are just getting into the game to keep going? That's a really tricky balance to try and strike.
Yeah, because like getting ganked in World of Warcraft, you understand it, you accept it. it's probably going to feel a little bit weirder to be like, yeah, no, I've got this gun that I can shoot you with a bunch of times, and then that person just, oh, I have a laser rifle, and you're vapor now in
Yeah.
one shot. It's going to feel weirder to get ganked by a higher level in a first-person shooter. You know?
Yeah, I hear you.
I feel like it would also feel weird to gank someone at a higher level, but that's
Well,
neither here nor there.
yeah, I guess it depends. I mean, like if I'm level 1, I run into some guy with power armor and a laser rifle, then yeah, that'll feel normal. Okay, this better person killed me with better weapons. But yeah, if I'm level 1 and level 50 comes and just beats me to death with his bare hands while I'm like trying to kite them around shooting them with a shotgun, then that's gonna feel really weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, it's gonna be, it's a tough, it's a tough balancing act. I don't envy them. I don't envy them because if you don't strike that perfect balance, then either way sucks. You don't
And
want.
griefing will happen
Yeah, I know.
in that case.
Griefing's inevitable. I don't want to say I feel like they're a little naive. Griefing's going to happen, so I'm curious to see how they put systems in place to deal with it. Perhaps if someone kills you, then they can't attack you again without your consent. I don't know. I have no clue
Or
how they're
until
going to
they
do it.
get murdered or something. You
Yeah.
know what? You know what I bet would be a great way to do it is if you die, or let's say a team kills your team. When you respawn, you get instanced to another server.
Yeah, that's or you get the choice. Do you want to stay on the server or move to another server? Yeah.
Well, I did think that they mentioned that if you want to play the game just straight up, it's going to be seamless.
Hmm.
So I don't think that you'd be able to choose like, oh yeah, you want to go to a different server.
Well,
They
well,
just do
what
it.
if you get killed and you're like, oh fuck, I want to kill that guy? Then you'd want to stay on that server, right?
Yeah. So I mean that might not be the way to solve the problem,
Hmm.
but that would be a way to solve the problem. Like if someone keeps griefing you, or
Yeah.
if you just die as every time you and your party die in a server, you just get instanced to a new one.
Yeah. And then maybe if someone kills you, then yeah, you just get ported to another server. Tough luck, you died. You're dead in that world.
Yeah.
You don't get your revenge chance. But although in one of the gameplay clips they showed us, there was a revenge killing, so that probably doesn't
Yeah.
happen. Fuck.
Yeah, probably.
Um,
Everything I've just said was nonsense.
wait, like before this or for the rest of your life? Or now?
Let, okay,
That
let's
was a
not get
joke.
existential.
Sorry. Okay, what's next? Oh, okay. So
Like
diseases.
it is after midnight. Existentialism is not supposed to happen after midnight.
I can't process this shit. So diseases and mutations. They mentioned them. I don't quite know what they have in mind for a disease, but as far as mutations go, apparently for mutations, some can be cured, but some apparently offer benefits that you can choose to keep or get rid of. So I wonder
No,
what.
no, 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 no. Is so the way that I'm understanding it is that you don't get a mutation that gives you a benefit, and then you get a mutation that gives you a disadvantage. You get a mutation and it does both.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I meant.
Right.
Yeah, but you can choose to either cure it or not,
Yeah.
or keep it, and then cure it or keep it long term too, which is really cool. I thought.
Yeah. I remember them saying that keeping the mutation long term was a late game thing.
Yeah.
So I guess another thing to add to the late game was to get all the mutations and sort of edit them to make a character that you want to make. Like I assume that there will be certain mutations to be like, oh yeah, no, you have randomly increase your health over time,
Hmm.
but your perception goes down by like you know 5 or whatever
That's
if
a
they're
lot.
doing it that way.
That's a lot.
So I mean that would be good for a melee focused brawler build
That's true.
because
Yeah.
you don't really need your perception that much. If you're gonna be going and smashing people in the face with a sledgehammer,
Yeah. And then it
and then
really, they always, we talk about all the time about choice, 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 and there's just another example of an excellent choice for players. Like, hey, do I want this mutation that lets me, yeah, that gives me plus 500 HP, but is a minus 5 to perception? Well, if I'm a sniper, probably not.
exactly,
But
yeah,
if I'm,
you'd be catching the rat away for that one.
yeah, exactly. And then I wonder how many different variations of mutations they're gonna have. But yeah, there's another end game scenario, right? Hey, I want to get this mutation. All right, looks like I gotta go to the glowing sea equivalent of wherever, and go fight radiated death claws or something. and that's
Yeah.
the way.
I hope it's going to be more random than that. I think it probably would be.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You know what I just thought of, and I don't remember them mentioning this in the video at all. Are there going to be dungeons?
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be dungeons in the way that we sort of think of them. But they did say to get workshops, you need to clear out areas,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there are already pre-built workshops in areas in the map, and you have to clear them out because they have like tough enemies in them or a super tough enemy at it. Like a particularly nasty snallygaster is
Mm-hmm.
in this, and once you kill the snallygaster, you get access to the barn. I mean that doesn't sound like a dungeon in the traditional sense that we would know it.
I was just thinking more like Skyrim, how, you know, they're very obviously dungeons, but even Fallout 4, like a lot of buildings you're exploring, that's kind of a dungeon. A lot of the vaults you explore, those are pretty much
Yeah.
dungeons. Like, I wonder if there's going to be stuff like that where it's the four of you instancing into a separate dungeon where you're just PvEing towards a boss and a loot chest. You know what I mean?
I mean, if they're not gonna include that, they've thought about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
that seems like an important part.
the rest of the game seems just mostly like open world shenanigans, which I think could be fun. But
It's gonna get boring
yeah,
after a while, or it's gonna samey.
yeah, a dungeon experience could really help the game. I think maybe that's something that's like a post launch type thing they're thinking about. They're probably just worried about getting all the wheels greased for opening day.
Yeah,
Um,
get the system working.
yeah.
Because
So
if we've known anything about Bethesda, the
yeah,
systems can kind of crash a little bit sometimes.
yeah, they janky as fuck. It's endearing in a way, except for when it's not, right?
It's
Except for when you run into that save corrupt file. But I guess we won't have save corrupt issues in this game, hopefully.
true.
Okay, what else did I write down here? Okay, so yeah, wanted levels for very aggressive players. That sort of was a given to me, and yeah, that'd be really cool if there's one or two people just griefing, they end up getting a higher and higher and higher bounty, and really incentivize the rest of the
People
map
to
to
band together. Yeah.
exactly, yeah, which is, you know, what should happen, right?
If you're in the wasteland and there's someone being an asshole,
Yeah,
and you're not being an asshole, and everyone around you is not being an asshole, you're gonna group up and kill the asshole.
exactly. I just wonder how will those payouts work, right? Like, there are no NPCs that are sentient humans. Like, who's paying them out? Would it be players paying bounties? I feel like that's that could be all really good or really bad. Maybe it'd be robots of some kind, but we'll
Maybe
see.
there's not. I mean, in the clip anyway, it just looked like you just got caps for killing somebody.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's sort of a gameplay mechanic that doesn't really make sense. It's not really canon friendly, but it's a necessary gameplay mechanic, right?
Right? That, and you could just act like you're pilfering him for caps.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Because yeah, they said that when you die, the only thing that happens is you just respawn. You don't lose your stuff.
Yeah.
Which, I kind of think it would be a little bit interesting to have that level of like fear. I know you will not agree with me.
I don't
You,
know. I think maybe not initially, but maybe if there's something you can opt into, or again, if you're someone who the game is tracking, you're just like going around killing lots of people lower level than you. Maybe at that point they're gonna be like, okay, listen, you keep doing this, your cap inventory, like you're gonna, you know, every level, every person you kill who's 10 levels lower than you is gonna be like 1% of your caps that they can claim off you if they kill you or something like that, like some sort of discretionary punishment that they can dole out for being an asshole.
they'll probably get a better system than
Yeah, I don't know. I'm spitballing. You know what we're talking about. Spitballs, then spitballs, and balls of spit.
that. Then mothballs,
Then mothballs.
spitballs and mothballs, and mothman and mothballs, and ball man.
Are you going to grope the Mothman's balls?
Absolutely not.
Liar. So they also actually, this is the first time I heard them say 24 to 32. That's the amount of players, and that falls under the dozens category, right?
Yep.
So yeah, that many people over a map four times the size of Fallout 4. I guess like, as long as 24 is not the least amount, like if there are servers that are less, then that would be okay.
I mean, you'll eventually be able to make private servers. Obviously, it's not gonna be on launch, but
Eventually. Eventually. TM.
all right. So let's get into some philosophy spitball and shit. Right.
Okay. Wait,
You can see all of the players on the map
okay, yeah, I was
when
about
you
to say
look
that,
at it.
yeah.
Yeah. What say you?
The like competitive first person shooter dude in me hates that because I don't know if you ever played Day of Defeat. It was a first-person game developed by Valve. It was based very heavily off Counter-Strike. So actually, yeah, both the mechanics, they introduced these mechanics in both games, which sort of turned me off to them. Yeah, whoever killed you, you could see where they were. So if I had, so for example, in Day of Defeat, if I had a really good sniping location in a church tower, before this came out, I would just psh, 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 I would just be cleaning house, which is exactly what you should do if you're a sniper in World War II, right? Find a high spot that no people can't see you or can't reach you, and fucking start killing people. But if now they know where I'm shooting from, then the first thing they're gonna do when they respawn is they're gonna pick the sniper rifleman class, and they're gonna run and they're gonna shoot me. I didn't like it then, but for what Fallout 76 is, it's this multiplayer online Fallout experience that's supposed to be leaning towards co-op with some PvP. I think it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's okay. Or at least, I mean, maybe I would
because
compromise to be like, maybe if you're just within the vicinity of someone, maybe not the whole map, but I would
yeah,
be okay with being able to see people on the entire map, so you can kind of, as long as you're paying attention, you sort of have a heads up if people are moving on you.
sure. You don't think that it's, I mean, it's not that I say you don't think that you haven't thought of this, but seems like if you want to be a jerk face,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like, because I mean that can be a role that you play. I want to just kill people and make drama. If you're a sniper, that'd be real easy. Like it'd be extremely easy to be a sniper and to make people's life harder because you could just snipe them while they're doing their quests or whatever, or you can snipe the enemy. And we don't really know how the loot system is going to work yet.
Are you talking about because it would be so easy for them to just find people?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
but
like you know where the person is, and so you can get to a high spot, or you can like, yeah, no, I see a group of like three people over here. They look like they're doing something. I'm going to respec all my talent cards into a sniper, and then I'm just gonna start picking people off.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can see that's argument sort of goes both ways, right? It's sort of like a double negative. It's like if no one can see anyone, then it's, I guess, I mean, they really seem to want people to interact with each other. So
I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, thinking about it, maybe that's not a good idea. I don't know. That seems like something that they're gonna have to work out live
yeah,
as it
sure.
happens. Because yeah, I can
Cause,
see arguments for both.
cause like there could be ways to keep an eye on like friendly players being like, oh yeah, we met and talked, and our Pip Boys connected, and now you can see him on the map when he
Mhm.
leaves,
Yeah. The
right?
the example they brought up for why they were allowing people to see each other was like if there's something there's an event going on, they want everyone to know. Like say someone nukes Cranberry Bog, they want everyone to be like, "Oh, Cranberry Bog's nuked. There's cool shit there. Let's go there now." But sort of going with that logic, they could just say, "Hey, Cranberry Bog's been nuked." Or, "Hey, players are attacking this super mythic legendary Deathclaw over here." So they don't have to do it by showing where the other players are. Yeah, I kind of don't like it now. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't. They said for better or ill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's an unspoken, hey, we're here to be cooperative, which I mean, I guess at the end of the day, most of the people that are going to be playing a Fallout game, they're probably going to be more apt to be cooperative than competitive. If that's the case, most people are cooperative, then yeah, having everyone be able to see each other on the map is going to be awesome
Mm-hmm.
because you'll be able to rove in gangs and be able to hang around and quest near people, and if you see other players starting to get picked off randomly, like, oh geez, something's happened over there, I should either run away or I should go help. So yeah, and if everybody's going to be cooperative, great.
Yeah, it has its pros, right? But it definitely has its cons too. So it's
There should be a day that we do when we play this, where we go around and we're saying today we're the assholes.
I can't we
uh,
can't ruin our good name.
yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can sometimes. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see for good or ill, right? As long as the devs are responsive to the data, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like if
yeah, I think Bethesda would be good at doing that
yeah, like if they
too.
see that people are using it as a ganking mechanic, maybe turn it off. If they see that people are using it and like the community is doing great and people are talking to each other and everything's going swell, then yeah, maybe leave it. So I guess we're just gonna have to see what happens for that.
My bet, if they haven't done it already, is once people start killing other people, maybe then they turn the thing off so the gankers can't see other people, but other people can see the gankers. And it might even be highlighted on the screen like this person is wanted.
Yeah, that's a good
And
idea. I would like that
that
too.
that'd probably be the one that they're gonna go with. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, the wanted person can't see other people, but everybody can see the wanted person, and that that would certainly deliberate choice to be a ganker or a griefer because
Yeah,
it's gonna be
and if you think about it too, that actually would kind of be fun in a way. Like say, like you
yeah,
said, say we go bad one day, just for a day, and the four of us are running around in power armor, and we're just like, "All right, where the scrubs at?" Like it's almost like it would almost be like a hunting game for us, you know.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
I could see
But
it.
it
There
would
is a
be super fun. And now you have joined the dark side, sir. You
there.
you have just gone. Yeah, no, yeah, griefing people might be fun. No, what have we done?
We'll see. We'll play it
What
by
have we
ear.
done?
We'll play it. We'll role play, baby. We'll role play, and some
Yeah.
days we'll play different roles.
And that's gonna be the coolest thing about this game, though, is that I don't role play in single player games very much, ever. This is gonna be the one where you can role play and not be a nerd, right? Like nobody's gonna look at you going like, oh yeah, no, look at you in your look at you in your Fallout suit. Oh, aren't you cute? Look at you trying to be a nice guy, or look at you trying to be a jerk. Like
Who
I can
cares?
be a jerk to everyone, and then tomorrow I'm gonna be the cook. The next day I'm gonna be the bullet maker.
Oh God, you're gonna have
You know
multiple
what I mean?
personalities.
I mean, I'm already like that. I'm a Gemini already.
It's Friday, guys. It's Africa Friday. Everyone dies.
It's Africa Friday. I'm gonna run around stabbing people with a spear.
No, there's definitely some.
Gonna gore them on an antelope horn.
There's definitely some gameplay potential in that. You're absolutely right. We'll have to see.
All of the good things and bad things that we've been saying about it just makes me wanna like get my hands on it.
Yeah,
I wanna
right.
get dirty with it.
Shit.
I wanna get dirty with it.
Oh God. Dirty boy. What else did I put here? Oh yeah, and it's gonna be full priced, so I'm guessing $60. But there's everything after that is free updates. I don't know if that includes DLC, like full. I
They
hope
said yes.
so. Yeah,
They
okay,
said yes.
that's
Free
cool then.
DLC, free content related DLC, but they will be releasing paid stuff that's mostly cosmetic.
Yeah, cosmetic
But they said it's
microtransactions. You know, people will bitch about
great.
because there are
No, no,
microtransactions
no.
in a free game or
Everyone
a
who's
full price
bitching
game.
about
But
it is a tool because you don't have to buy it.
yeah, no, absolutely.
You
As long
yeah
as there's no
yeah yeah
gameplay
you don't have to buy it.
advantage, yeah, right. As long as there's no gameplay advantage,
Exactly.
I'm cool with it. Yeah, and all the microtransactions that you buy with money can also be earned with in-game shit too. So there's nothing special other than saved time that comes with microtransactions.
And that's the best way to do it,
It's the way to do it.
especially if you already make your game a paid title.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's pretty much all I got. You got anything else?
I had a couple things, yeah.
What you got? What you got? Hit me.
So the
Watch
the
it hit
things
me.
that are exciting me is that to me this game seems like it's more of a obviously there is the quest, hey, go do your stuff, this is the direction that we have for you, but other than that we're just building a sandbox and letting you play in it, which I'm super excited by. The ideas of what kind of events that they can put in makes me a little giddy.
Yeah.
Like the super mutant stuff. Like I just have ideas in my head where I'm like, oh yeah, no, for one day it's a super mutant invasion, right? Like there's super mutants just walking across the map in gangs and like platoons and shit. And then the only way to stop the oppression is to take out the leader or whatever, right? Having super mutant like behemoths smashing your shit. Just that idea like really gets me excited. That you can have like infestations of whatever type of animals happening, and then you have to try to get rid of the infestation, help out your fellow dudes and stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Shit, man, your dick is hard. I can hear it from here. I can hear it growing.
You can hear my underwear screaming at me.
Yeah, it's like wood creaking in the wind. It's like,
Kind of excited about the idea of a player economy,
yes, yeah,
right? Because we
I
talked
agree.
about that. There's no things that you can just go cash in. Because one of the things that was
Welcome to
in
Tiki's
Fallout.
Taco Shack. Caps, no credit.
The thing that I do worry about though, they said that they were fiddling with the idea of having like a robot vendor.
Mm-hmm.
that you can, so like you give the robot vendor your stuff, the robot vendor sells your stuff, and then you get the caps later. Seems like that would be very necessary if you would actually like to, sort of be a merchant thing, because what are you going to do? Sit at a desk?
Right? Yeah.
Like that's going to be your game,
Hey, I'm gonna
like
log.
because you have to sit there and wait for people to come to your desk for you to
Yeah.
say, "Hey, I want to buy some bullets." Okay, here you go. Like if you're gonna be like the one-stop shop in the old times, right? What's that word?
General store.
A mercantile.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
right. Like if you're gonna be a mercantile, like yeah, you'd have to sit at your settlement that you made and just sell stuff. That's your game. You log in and do that.
I paid
That
sixty
sounds
dollars for
boring as
this.
shit. Yeah, I mean that sounds boring as shit because otherwise you're not going to be able to reach people. And then the other part of that is that also kind of seems like because you have the robot vendor doing all your stuff for you. You just like, oh, all of the stuff that I don't want or need, I can just give to my robot vendor and then I just take money later. Which is exactly the way that you used to make money in the old Fallout games, right? You just take your stuff and you sell them to any vendor.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like Skyrim had the thing where you could only sell certain items to certain vendors, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like you could only sell food to the food vendor. So
And yeah, the food vendor wouldn't buy they wouldn't buy swords and shit. Like, I don't want
exactly. Like, what am I going to do with this broadsword? Chop tomatoes?
that.
I'm excited at the idea of it, but I'm just like, oh, how are they going to be able to make it good for the player economy?
That's sort of like the
Where it's
question
like,
for this whole game, right? How are they going to make it
yeah,
good?
yeah, how are they? The last sort of thing that I wanted to touch on was the survival mechanics. So I don't know if you know me, I'm actually really big on the survival games.
Oh yeah.
Those are like my things. Like if I'm playing a single player game, if it doesn't have some sort of a survival mechanic in it, I tend to get bored. Like Subnautica was that game that I just couldn't put down. That had a big survival, element to it. And I got to a point halfway through the game where the survival elements of getting food and water, they were irrelevant. I had enough and I knew how to get all of those stuff.
But at least at that point though, you probably felt like you probably felt accomplished because you'd
Yeah,
conquered that, right?
exactly. But in this one, how are they going to make the survival mechanics like compelling enough to be, something that you have to like be mindful of and work towards without making them like that's your all-consuming thing. I personally, since I love the survival genre, would rather see it more harsh than not. In survival games, there's only two real ways to make it compelling. Number one is that you make it like harsh and brutal to actually obtain them. It's harder to get food, it's harder to get water. That's your like the core gameplay loop is to get that stuff. The other part is to kind of have it be used so much, like the bars go down so fast that you can stockpile and then go, okay, I don't need that much for now. I've got enough for now, so I don't have to worry about it for now. I can go concentrate on doing something else. You go do something else, and then you're like, okay, well, I've burned through all of my cram. I've got to go. I've got to go get some more cram now. In my experience, that's how you make compelling survival mechanics, is that you either make it too hard to get stuff, so that you have to think about it all the time, or you get hungry and you get thirsty way more than would be expected if you were real.
Yeah,
Because
I
because
wouldn't. I don't know if I'd hold my breath on that because remember they were talking about this being survival light, or was that what they were saying? Survival light or PvP light? I can't remember.
I think it was PvP like.
Okay.
Because I mean, why even put the survival mechanics in there if they're not even gonna matter, right? Like,
I think they'll matter, but just like your Subnautica example, like I don't know too much about Subnautica, but like, is there a crafting like building mechanic in there?
yeah,
Like,
like a lot.
is that why you were sort of able to overcome the survival mechanics? Is because through your own hard work and grit, you were able to like build a base that okay, I don't need to get water anymore. I'm I
Right,
built
you
my
have a
shit
water
over.
purifier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So I think if they do
exactly.
it that way, that'll be fine. Like if it's hard, you need food and sleep and water at the beginning, and then as you level and you level up your little camp settlement, it becomes stronger and stronger, and you have to deal with that shit less and less. I think that would be okay.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I guess I was just getting a little elitist about my survival game.
I need it to be hard. I need to struggle. I need to pee and shit every hour on the
Yeah,
hour.
because
Otherwise,
that's
it's not
that's
real.
when I play solo games. That's kind of what gets me out of bed. Like, oh yeah, I want to go into this game
and
and
suffer.
feel like I need to hunt shit. Yeah.
Shit, man, that's funny. What else you got? You got anything else?
So I made this talking point before they divulged how many players are going to be on the server and that they're going to be instanced. And so I thought of an idea of like if you have like a server and there are player created factions, say there's 4 factions to the server with like 8-ish people on them. They're all at war, and it's kind of like gangs, right? And then there needs to be a day where the bosses meet to discuss a ceasefire and shit. I don't know. That would be kind of fun drama,
But
wouldn't
it's
it?
all player controlled.
Exactly, right? If you're the head of whichever faction you create, and then 3 other guys, the bosses have to meet.
And it devolves into a
Like
Mexican standoff. Ah!
yeah, right?
Yeah,
Because
no.
it could.
Yeah,
You could be standing in the back with a mini nuke launcher ready to go.
we're ready, boss. Yeah, no, there's definitely some great potential. Like I keep trying to just, when we were talking in Max and Z earlier, we're trying to describe like what this game is, and it really has the potential to sort of be it's like to be a lot of things and also its own thing. And
Yeah.
it has the potential to be really a really, really cool multiplayer Fallout game. And Reddit's sort of a buzz right now, like depending on where you go, like, oh, this isn't not my hashtag, not my Fallout, right? But again, sort of like I had to do. People have to realize that this is not Fallout 5. This is not a single player Fallout game, so it's going to be different. And it has,
Yeah.
if we all give it the chance, and if Bethesda delivers, which they definitely have the potential to, whether or not they do is yet to be seen, but this has the potential to be a really cool, really long lasting game. And I hope that it is.
Me too.
Shit, yeah, I guess your dick sounds really hard, and my dick's getting harder too.
It's weird how I get hyped for things. Like at first it was like, oh yeah, Fallout 76 is coming out. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. All right, all right. And then all of a sudden, I just have a giant erection for it. That's how it was for Fallout 4 too. I watched the Bethesda thing on E3, and they're like, yeah, no, we're coming out with it in like 3 months. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And then I just didn't touch it. I didn't care for like a month. And then I looked at it. I'm like, oh my God, I need this in my life.
And then you didn't finish it.
And then I didn't finish it. That's right.
Shit. Okay, so we're done. We're wrapping it up. We're wrapping it up.
I think so.
All right, yeah. So that'll wrap it up, guys. This has been Take It Slow, aka Angry Porter, aka Clancy. Too many goddamn nicknames. That shit's getting old. And joining me today was my boy Tiki Taco.
Yep, confirmed it was me.
Still not sure if he's a taco. We'll leave that out for the judges. And yeah, like I said, we'll be covering Fallout 76 plenty on this channel, and then when it launches, you'll see plenty of shenanigans from us, and hopefully from Max and Z. We got to pressure them. We got to pressure them into it. Peer pressure. Peer pressure is good sometimes. Sometimes peer pressure is good.
Yeah, but how can you give peer pressure to someone else when you do not cave to peer pressure in any way?
Fuck.
That's like blasphemy.
Yeah, man. I gotta go think about that. I gotta go solve that verbal math problem in my head. But thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.
Peace out, Cub Scouts. Woo!
Take it slow.